Jose, first of all, thanks for being here. It's a pleasure to interview you,
It's my pleasure.
and I hope the conference is being great for you.
It's marvelous.
So, Nixval serves both national and international clients, but its operations are concentrated in Spain. Are there any plans to expand physically to other regions, either within the country or abroad?
Yeah, we are right now in the sweet spot. We operate for 16 years in the east of Spain, in Valencia, and we are leaders for these last 16 years. And we are lucky enough to have a lot of opportunities in a very different ways. And we are trying to understand what's better for us, how we can provide the most value out of it, and what makes more sense for us to our growth. So being in this position of being leaders for 16 years in the middle of this huge wave of investment in data center, we are in an inflection point for our industry. Never happened before in the history. So now we are measuring our next step. Of course, we will grow. We will adapt our growth to the needs of our clients, but we want to extrapolate. We want to export our expertise and our leadership to some other regions. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense for us, but we are doing things steady and regular.
Nice, Jose. You took part in the master session today, Global Data Center Trends. What are the main projections that you do in the coming years on a global scale? You act in Spain, but you have a global perspective, I assume. And which types of demand are expected to put the most pressure on operators?
Yeah. As I said before, we live in a historical moment. Artificial intelligence is taking over everything. We are living in some inflection point that will be similar to the first digital transformation when the internet was involved in our lives in a way that we were not able to understand a few years ago. But now we cannot live without connectivity, without digital transformation. We rely on technology for everything, like in our personal life and our professional lives for everything. So we are facing now something similar with artificial intelligence, but this artificial intelligence, this, let's say, new wave of digital transformation, it's way more extensive and way more demanding in terms, especially from my point of view, in the digital infrastructure. Because we are talking about data centers, but we should understand that cloud artificial intelligence is not something that you cannot touch. Data centers are the house of the technology, is where the artificial intelligence, the cloud computing, and all of these new technologies, they are host. So in terms of growth, in terms of what it's putting a lot of pressure in operators, it's way more demanding. The density per rack, it's increasing, and everything comes around that. The density per rack is determined by the chips the artificial intelligence is using, but that's also the requirement of the cooling system, for example. Also very critical system, the electrical system, it's measured by this consumption. So everything, even reaching the design of a new project, it's tied to what kind of chip the project is using. That's why now we tend more to be more flexible, to have some availability of resources in a different way, and we try to customize it for every client. That's way more personalized for each client, but it's also a bigger challenge for the operator.
Perfect. You mentioned the data center as an asset, the building where the artificial intelligence and cloud is based on. So what are the main technical challenges or issues that Nixval faces when addressing the diverse needs of its clients?
Yeah, there is a lot of different things. We should understand also that artificial intelligence is the spearhead of the growth of all the technology, but everything else is growing at the same ratio. It's following the same trend of growth. So from the regular traditional enterprise systems to especially networking, we are experiencing the same growth, the same exponential growth. So we should adapt everything that we are doing to all of that in terms that everything is growing steady. So that's one of the biggest challenges. Adapt the rest of the infrastructure to artificial intelligence, because of course with the amount of investment receiving artificial intelligence is catching the attention, but everything else around that, it's also the same critical and requires also the same attention.
Perfect. I am curious because you are based on Spain and the event is in the US. So why are you here? What are your interests in talking to other operators and investors and developers regarding data center market?
I truly believe that New York is the capital of the world and everything happens here. So to receive this information, to receive the same vibes, to connect with everyone, this is the main city in the world. And having the best knowledge was always part of Nixval. So we should be up to date as much as possible to receive all the information to take the best decisions.
Perfect. Congratulations and thanks for the interview.
Thanks a lot.